Okay, so today we will try and build a e-commerce website, and this is completely inspired by this particular video, which YouTube video from Julian Dubois, um, and in this video he actually builds a sample e-commerce website, and on the gateway he has actually built this particular schema which mm, which is on the gateway, yeah. And then he goes ahead and builds couple of microservices as cart and CMS. The couple of differences from the video which he has done to what I'm going to do is I wanted to move the this whole schema from being in the gateway to its own microservice, because in a real world the gateway is just should have just contain the UI, and and the UI should actually reach out to microservices, and somehow I didn't want this to be in the gateway, yeah, and should be and wanted to package that into its own microservice. And in the video also what he has done is the cart and the CMS are fairly simple, schemas, whereas this one has a lot of relationships and more realistic. So making a microservice with more realistic schema was a bit of a challenge because I could not follow the same process as he mentioned there. So what I did is actually I have created GitHub repository. You can visit my GitHub repository here, and if you look at it, so I have the band products cart and the gateway, and I have this particular schema here. So I've given some basic steps how to go about it. I will walk through that. Yeah. So here, if you look at when you check out this code, what you will see is it in the main page. It's just basic images and this thing. But if you look at gateway, you will just see two files, and of course both are hidden files, so you'll have to do ls minus la in your machines to see them. And if you look at the urc file, it basically avoids all the question answers which you need to do when you do Jhipster without this, yeah. So it it will give a kind of same consistency which I am doing or replicating into your teams and people. Yeah. And if you look at Jhipster, I have this files which is have to be written slightly different when you actually try and make them as macro services rather than use the JDL file and do it. Yeah, no big deal, but just need to be aware how to write this syntax. Yeah, so similarly, I think the product JSON looks like this. Yeah. So what I really wanted to drive here is it's just this project is one JSON here and four JSONs in this file in the gateway. And if you look at on the brand products, it's again the same one JSON file to create the scaffolding and another four JSON files to create the entities. Yeah, just with these, how can it can be so simple to build a complete microservice architecture with API gateway and console. Not a console, we'll use Jhipster registry in this, and a complete Angular for UI. Yeah. So let's start. And here I have created for Windows just to keep that simple. So what I would do maybe is I need to git clone. Okay, so here I have four color windows and I've copied my code here. So I will switch between various, gateway, the registry, and the service discovery registry, and the microservice. Yeah. So let me go to, if I do my, or if I just do it, let me do cd com. Yeah. If I just do tree, yeah, this is what it contains, and tree minus a will show you what it contains. So it's very simple. So here I will first get onto the gateway and build the scaffolding. When I mean by scaffolding, it's just the yo Jhipster command. So this does not contain any entity information to build either UI or the CRUD operations. Let's ask. Sorry, it should not ask me this if I'm in the right folder. I'm not in the right folder, so I need to go to the gateway folder. And so this will use a .jhipster directory and will avoid all these questions. This will take a bit of time because it needs to build the Angular code as yeah, the basic scaffolding will be done for Angular as well. So you can see the ng2 and Angular 2 stuff coming up. So just to give certain clarification, this when you do your Jhipster, it just creates the basic scaffolding code. It's not compiling and building anything. When we later use the Gradle to compile and execute the same. Yeah. So the basic scaffolding took about 11 seconds, and now the yarn packages are getting downloaded. Yeah, so you can see the build successful thing, and it also tells you how to run this later. Yeah, we'll do the same thing on the microservice side. So this time, so I'll do your hipster. It should be slightly faster than the gateway. Yep, in 15 seconds we're done. Okay, so what we can do now is actually, let me first build the microservice itself, which doesn't have any UI. And if you go back to the README, we have this command. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is your Jhipster entity brand, and then it will call your Jhipster entity product, then it will call your Jhipster entity category and your Jhipster entity subcategory in a sequence. I'm just putting this in one command so that you know becomes much easier to understand. You'll have to press enter for most of the defaults. For each one of the entity, you'll have to press about 3 to 4 times the defaults. We look at it, that built the product entity. Now it's going to build the category. Look at categories. Yeah. And now it's going to build a subcategory. Do ensure that you exactly type the same things, because I did make mistakes earlier when I said subcategory with capital C, and then it gets into a challenging place. Okay, so what this has done is created in the uh, microservice directory, it has created the source code for all the each one of the entities which we have set. So if you look at it, there will be a domain, there will be a repository, there is a REST, and yeah, and there's a search because I've asked it to be searchable as well. Same thing repeated 4 times. Okay, so we need to do the same thing on the gateway as well, and but in gateway it will not build these files, the domain, the subsidy, which is really required as a backend microservices with CRUD, and which can actually go to MySQL and or H2 in the development environment. Here it will just build the UI, but you have to say supply the same entities so that it understands the relation between the two UI components. Let's say when you go to product, it has to be associated with a subcategory. Yeah, and so when you're actually getting the UI for product, you should actually get the subcategory drop downs, yeah, or choices, and to which brand it is associated as well. So if you look at the product is associated brand and with a subcategory, so those choices should be there. Otherwise, the UI will not be able to build properly. So it needs this same schema again to build the UI with the relationships. Okay, so I will just paste the same sorry. Okay, let me copy the command again. Yeah. Again, this is the biggest piece of work I need to do. So done with brand. Hmm. And again, typically the UI generation takes more time, and you can see that there are some errors because the brand has a relationship with product, and the product, it's not aware of the product entity. And if you look at it, since we are given in sequence, now the product entity is going to be built, but you'll see more errors from product because product is associated with subcategory as well, and enumeration. So don't worry about those errors because they're all dependencies, and as we generate the code for all the dependencies, the errors will get resolved. Yeah, more errors. Scary, but don't worry. Now we are going to build the category as it says here. Yeah. And if you look at it again, just have a look at the files which it's generating. It's not generating any of these files. Yeah, it's generating the TS files, the HTML files, the service files, the detail, dialog components. So all UI components. Yeah, and it also updates the navbar so that, and that's how you get. Yeah, more errors, and but this is this final one, and we'll finish the subcategory. Okay, so this time build is successful and there will be no errors. Okay, before we compile the code and start executing, let me recap. What we did was we actually cloned our project. Yeah, then we went to our gateway and just ran the Jhipster, which created the scaffolding. We did the similar thing when we switched to brand directory, and we created the, just creates the source code by scaffolding source code by Jhipster. Then continued in the brand products, and we actually did this command which created all the entities onto the brand products, and we did the same on the gateway, and that's here. I'll try to beautify this read later, but that's it. Yeah, so we still need to do the gradles to start that, and we also need to start our Eureka Jhipster registry. Yeah, so these are the steps which are pending, and every time those four brand, product, subcategory, and category generation is because of this relationship. Yeah, but it's not one file as is it seen in the UI. It is actually, if you go there, it's split into four JSON files rather than one JSON file as which could be used for in the UI generation, and that's actually here. If you look at that, UI is generated using this JDL file. Yeah, and that's what we cut and paste into the JDL Studio, and we get this picture. Yeah, so till now all we've done is code generation and nothing execution. So, but now the interesting part starts. We can start now the registry, and if you look at the registry is actually, there's a Docker file generated for registry in the gateway. It's need not stay in gateway, but that's how it is right now. In this, it is in the source main and Docker directory. Yeah. If you look at the files here, there are many Docker images, but we are interested in the Jhipster at this point of time. We can do the others, not write them yet on the Elasticsearch and starting the Sonar and so forth. Yeah. So the way to start, let me clear this. The way to start this is doc registry is also in this. Given in this README, and that's here. Yeah, I'll copy this. I'm just starting the registry first because we don't have to compile any code. It's already in the Docker, and Docker Compose can bring it up. It should come up anytime. Yeah. So here the registry up and running. Let's check it out. Yeah, so this is the registry. This is the old one, so let me refresh it. Some metrics, but let me go to home. So this is how the registry looks, and if you look at this, this is the area where we need to be, you know, tested. Already logged in as admin, the user is admin, and username is admin, and the password is admin by default. Yeah, and there is nothing registered right now, either the gateway nor the brand products. Soon you'll see as we start them, they'll get registered here. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to microservice first, and then compile this code. And the way to I'm using Gradle, Gradle W, and yeah. So it's using the port 8082 Gradle this microservice, and it's already connected to the Jhipster registry as well. So this is the time when we can go and check out if we refresh this, does it show? Yeah. So now the brand products microservice came up. This has registered itself in the Jhipster registry, which is based on Eureka. Yeah. But we still don't have any UI. So if you go to our UI actually, which is going to run on port 8080, it doesn't work right now. It's just the API at this point of time. Yep. So now the interesting part will come in. when we add UI to this, and the gateway has many more features, like it has got the Swagger API where you can create things. So let me clear this window and start Gradle W. Yeah, it's working. Take a few minutes. We have to wait till we get something like this on this side, where the gateway comes up and registers itself to the config server. Yeah, I can see here the gateway is getting registered. Yeah, so if you look at it now, this is up and it's also registered with the config server. So let's see whether it's first registered. Yes, so we have the gateway running, up and running and registered. So if we refresh this, we hopefully, yeah, I've logged in as admin previously, so let me log out. For this is how it will look when you come in, and at this point you will have to press admin, and password is admin, and sign in. Yeah, so once you have this logged in, you are in this page, and here you can see we have all the entities built in. And let's go, before we see the UI, let me show. If you look at the brand, you can search for the brand, but everything is empty. If you look at product, there's a search bar for product, everything is empty. We have categories, again everything is empty, and we have subcategories. Let's, for fun, create a brand from the API. So we are on the default, we have to select the brand, and now if you look at the brand, you can see the brand operations. Everything comes out of the box. All we had is few JSON files in our, and actually 5 JSON files to be precise. Does all the magic. 5 to 6. Yeah. So let's create a brand. Post create brand. The Swagger is very useful. Here you can actually, this is just an example, but here is where you can actually enter things and send. And they give an example, and if you click on this box, it comes here. One big thing you need to really think is you remove the ID because it generates automatically, and ensure that you remove this comma as well. So let's say I have to create a brand now. I will give a brand as brand 1. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if you say try it out, it gives you the curl command if you want to use it again. And actually you can do it by curl. You can create second brand by curl if you want. And it's gone in. Post. Now if we look at brand, we see the brand 1, and this time safely let's create another brand here. Yeah, so we have 2 brands. So let me create a category now. Yeah, we have two categories. Let me create a subcategory. We can remove this alcohol. And yeah, so here if you look at this relationship which we had in the UI actual in our entity diagram. So cat11 belongs to cat1 diagram. Let me call this subcat. Let me keep the C small because for consistency. Yeah. Let me create some more subcategories. It's part of the subcategory 1, second product, second subcategory of category 1. Yeah. So we have now two brands, two categories, and two subcategories within each category. Time to create the product. Let's create a product. Price, let's say 10. Size. So this is just to demonstrate how we could use enumerations. And let's add it to subcategory 1 and the brand 1. Voila, you have our first product in. I'll just create another product. Yeah. So this actually shows how we could build all this so simply, and I'm really amazed how Jhipster does all this. Never found it any more simpler in any other way. And all with one JSON file and these sorry, I have 5 JSON files here. Item was meant for the cart, which we didn't add another service. We could do that. Um, and other brand products, another JSON file, and the other 4. So with about 6 to 7 JSON files, all and Jhipster installed, we could do all this. I hope you like this video, and if you enjoy this, please subscribe to my channel and also give a thumbs up. Thank you very much.